for this particular meeting, and the quorum is duly met. The meeting is therefore correct and hereby is called to order. Thank you.
Good afternoon, and thank you very much indeed for being here with us. So, honorable ministers and dear colleague governors of Acbf, from African members of state, the African Union, African Development Bank, the United Nations Development Program, and the World Bank, distinguished partners, Afro-Exim Bank, Badia, and Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, the Honorable Chair of the Executive Board of Acbf, members of the Executive Board, the Executive Secretary of Acbf, welcome, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Together with the Board of Governors, I welcome you all to the annual meeting. It feels refreshing to have you here in Accra. This is a welcome breakthrough from the restrictions unfortunately imposed by the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic. You are in Accra, so feel at home. And to those joining us via virtual platforms, you are most welcome from the comfort of your locations across the globe. It has been 2 years since Africa reported its first COVID-19 case. We know the impacts of COVID-19 crisis have been widely experienced to varying degrees around Africa and across sectors. Our responses to containing the outbreak, which has been shaped by access to financing, has led to rising fiscal deficits. The data shows that fiscal deficits reached an average of 13% of GDP in advanced economies in 2020 and an average of 10% in emerging market and middle-income economies. The fallout from the Russian invasion of Ukraine is only serving to aggravate these prevailing challenges and driving costs of living up around Africa and the world. Rising costs of food, fuel, and finance and fertilizers, both strong implications for all sectors, including capacity building, which according to Oxfam receives approximately $15 billion in international aid every year globally. This concurrent crisis is asking serious questions about how funds are mobilized and used at all levels. According to UNECA, the debt to GDP ratio in Africa rose from 60% to an estimated 71.1% between 2019 and 2020, largely because of the COVID-19 pandemic. About 18 countries the performance of official development assistance, which rose to about $180 billion in 2021, up 4.4% in real terms from 2020, may not be guaranteed given the global nature of the squeeze as all countries grapple with the fallout of COVID-19 and Russia-Ukraine crisis. The paradox we have to confront is that capacity building is a key issue, a prerequisite to build forward better for Africa, and yet the fiscal space for advancing capacity building continues to narrow amidst these overwhelming challenges that we face. It seems the age of scarcity is upon us. In the dawning of this reality, a reimagination of capacity building is not only imperative but also urgently needed. It is in light of this context that I consider our meeting today extremely significant. This is the time to be aggressive and innovative in repositioning African Union's Specialized Agency for Capacity Development, Acbf. We must enable our member countries to take full advantage of the new prospects presented by the fourth industrial revolution, driven by the transition to knowledge-based economies. To do this, we must be aggressive in sustaining ongoing efforts at improving processes and systems to ensure the foundation is more responsive. We must be innovative in seeking out new partnerships and finances that will bolster the achievement of the agreed agenda for socio-economic transformation on the continent. We must entrench the relevance of the foundation to ensure that Africa builds better forward. We must bring in a new period of enlightened renaissance to ensure that we tackle the future ahead. To this end, I am particularly pleased that as we conclude the strategy 2017 to 2022, we do so on a very strong note. Achieving about 70% of the pledged resources for this strategy has enabled us to undertake reforms that have made our organization more nimble and responsive to the changing demands of member countries. It has demonstrated that the strategic decision to change the business model of the foundation beyond just ground making was prescient. I'm also happy that we are making steady progress securing sustainable financing. The creation of a trust fund for mobilizing resources for the AU's high-level panel and the consortium on illicit financial flows from African actors must spur us on to new grounds and financing models. I'm also encouraged by the strong continental support from member countries to the activities of the foundation. The strong support by African member countries has provided the impetus for our other partners to continue complementing the efforts of the foundation. I extend my gratitude to these partners and acknowledge the visionary leadership they demonstrate in supporting our development aspirations. The Africa Development Bank, the Arab Bank for Economic Development in Africa, the Afrexim Bank, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, and the UNDP. The 2021 annual report points to an improving organization that is delivering results in this regard. I would like to acknowledge the leadership of the Executive Board and Professor Nadozi for the dedication and passion that he showed during his tenure. I take this opportunity to join the Executive Board in welcoming Mamadou Betai as Executive Secretary of the Foundation. Mamadou, you are welcome. Mamadou is a seasoned and experienced leader whose competencies will be key in steering the Foundation into the future. His immediate and pressing task is to develop a new strategy for the Foundation. So together we must, as a Foundation, continue to prioritize inclusive growth. We must continue to empower African women and youth to realize the demographic dividend. In the light of AFCFTA, strengthening Africa's capacity to trade must become the foremost priority of our Foundation. We must align our priorities of efforts to boost Africa's income by some $450 billion by 2036. As I conclude, I would like to thank the African member states for their financial support to the Foundation, evidenced by the highest annual contribution in fiscal year 2021, achieving 94% of their target. The following 9 countries, Burkina Faso, Ethiopia, Kenya, Mali, Nigeria, Togo, Zambia, Zimbabwe, and Ghana, deserve special mention for fully paying up contributions to the current strategic plan. I also acknowledge the African Union's budgetary support, which demonstrates the member states' commitment to our foundation. As you know, we are now a specialized agency for capacity building for the AU. So fellow Ghanaian governors, thank you for leading by example. Let me end by calling on you, fellow governors, to facilitate timely payment of all outstanding contributions to the Foundation. The Secretariat needs our timely payments of contributions to conclude key activities under the current strategy and to plan for the new strategy without constraints. We count on you Africa counts on you to achieve the Africa we want, the Africa beyond aid. So once again, welcome to Accra and enjoy your stay. It is indeed my singular honor to declare the annual meeting officially open. Thank you, and God bless us all. Long live ACBF, long live Africa.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair of the ACBF Board of Governors, Honorable Ken Oforiatta, for those welcome remarks. Distinguished members of the Board of Governors of ACBF, distinguished Chair of the Finance and HR Committee of the ACBF Executive Board, representing the Chair of the ACBF Executive Board, and distinguished members of the Executive Board of ACBF that are joining this meeting online, Mr. Mamad Bite, Executive Secretary of ACBF, representatives of bilateral and multilateral development partners here in present, dear friends of the ACBF family, ladies and gentlemen, it is an honor for me to be moderating this session today. And now that we've been welcomed by our host, the ACBF Board of Governors Chair, I would like to do a very quick run-through of the events of today. We will have introductory remarks by the Chair of the ACBF Executive Board, and we will have goodwill messages from partners that are here present. After that, then we'll move into the statutory meeting of the Board of Governors, which will start with adoption of the agenda and minutes of the 30th annual meeting. We will proceed into matters arising from the 30th annual meeting and go into consideration and approval of the annual report for financial year 2021 of the Executive Board of the Board of ACBF. This will be presented by the representative of the Chair of the Executive Board, who is the Chair of the Finance and HR Committee of the ACBF Executive Board. We'll then move into a presentation of the overall status of the foundation, which will be made by the Executive Secretary of ACBF. And that will be followed by a report of the Resource Mobilization Committee of the Board of Governors. And we will have an opportunity for a feedback session of the Board of Governors, where they will provide reactions to the messages that have been provided on the annual report and on the state of the foundation. We will then proceed to go to election of a new bureau, and that will be presided over by the Chair of the Board of Governors. And we will also then go into a consideration of date and venue of the next meeting, and we'll read a communique of this meeting and move into closing remarks by the Chair of the Board of Governors. Let me also remind delegates that at the end of this whole process, there's going to be a group photo of the governors that will take place outside where there's a drop banner that has been set up for that purpose. So please do not forget to be part of the group photo which is a family picture of the Board of Governors. I wish to remind the delegates also that this is a hybrid meeting. We have some of our governors attending online via Zoom, and so far we already have 28 participants that have already registered online and are attending this meeting via Zoom. We are also live on YouTube, and parts of the meeting that are open are being broadcast live on Zoom. Let me also indicate that there are snacks and finger foods available outside in the foyer, and delegates should feel free to walk out and grab a cup of coffee and some drinks and some snacks and bring them back into the room. We do have Wi-Fi available, so look out for Acbf Wi-Fi. The name of the Wi-Fi network is Acbf Bog 2022, and the password is Acbf 2022, all in capital letters. Distinguished Board of Governors, ladies and gentlemen, it is now my pleasure to call upon the representative of the chair of the Acbf Executive Board to give us his introductory remarks. Mr. Jonas Dow, please. Thank you.
Yeah, it's me. Thank you, Grace. Your Excellencies, Minister Ofori Tutu, President, Chair of the Board of Governors, with your permission, I will proceed my introductory remarks in French. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let me, I got a note from the chair, and so let me read the statement and then pass it on to you to continue. So this is from our chair, Mr. Mwancha. On behalf, Honorable Minister, on behalf of the Executive Board, it is my singular honor to convey heartfelt gratitude to you, Honorable Ministers, as the Board of Governors of Acbf. Allow me at the outset to convey my sincere apology for not being able to attend the meeting in person. This was purely due to travel challenges. However, I humbly convey my warm regards through our chair, Honorable Ken Ofori-Atta, to this important meeting. Additionally, may I take this opportunity to inform the governors of 5 important developments since your last meeting. 1. For the financial year 2021, for the first time in several years, contributions by member states reach a record level over 90%, 94% actually. Given the severe challenges that member states are facing, this is a clear demonstration of your support and expectations. 2, because of this strong commitment, Acbf has continued to gain more and additional support from development partners. 3, as clearly indicated in the 2021 annual report, Acbf was able to deliver on its annual work plan and in line of 2018 to 2022 strategic plan. The EB is pleased to inform the Honorable Ministers of the successful recruitment of the new CEO, Mamadou. We will call Mamadou now. Mr. Bitai has impeccable experience in capacity building and resource mobilization, and we need to really congratulate the search committee for this work. The board wishes to take this opportunity to thank Professor Emmanuel Nadozi for the immense contribution and for management, as can be seen from the clean 2021 audit report. Thank you very much. Wishing you a good meeting. So this is from Mr. Mwancha. Thank you. You may continue.
Thank you, Chair. Excellence, Monsieur le Président du Conseil des gouverneurs, distingués membres du Conseil des gouverneurs de l'ACBF, Mesdames et Messieurs les membres du Conseil d'administration de l'ACBF, Monsieur Mamadou Bité, secrétaire exécutif de l'ACBF, chers représentants des partenaires au développement, chers amis de la famille ACBF, Mesdames et Messieurs, c'est pour moi un honneur et un privilège de m'adresser à vous au nom du conseil d'administration de l'ACBF, au nom de son président, l'honorable Erastus Mwentia, pour vous souhaiter la bienvenue à la réunion annuelle du conseil de gouverneurs de l'ACBF. Nous sommes ravis cette fois-ci d'avoir une réunion hybride avec une participation à la fois physique et virtuelle, ce que nous n'avons pas eu l'occasion de faire les 2 dernières années à cause de la pandémie de la Covid. Honorables gouverneurs, Mesdames et Messieurs, nous nous réunissons une fois de plus à une époque de défis importants et de grands changements sur notre continent. La Covid a suscité de nombreux défis que nous étions loin d'imaginer. Elle a bouleversé la façon dont nous travaillons et interagissons les uns et les autres. Cependant, elle a surtout fait ressortir certaines vérités parfois difficiles pour nous. Certains ont trait à la nécessité urgente de bâtir des économies africaines plus résistantes aux chocs extérieurs et une Afrique capable de se prendre en charge. Alors que nous commencions à bénéficier d'un peu de répit face à la pandémie, la guerre entre la Russie et l'Ukraine perturbe davantage nos économies, soulignant davantage la nécessité pour l'Afrique de développer des économies fortes et résilientes. Ce que nous avons vécu, l'agenda 2063 de l'Union africaine dresse un plan à long terme pour le continent que nous voulons voir se réaliser à l'avenir. Ce que nous avons vécu au cours des 2 dernières années et ce que nous vivons actuellement avec la guerre russo-ukrainienne devrait nous convaincre d'accélérer nos démarches pour répondre à l'une des aspirations clés de l'Union africaine, qui est de construire une Afrique capable de réaliser son propre développement et son propre destin. À l'ACBF, nous sommes prêts à nous associer à nos États, à tous nos États membres, afin qu'ils renforcent les capacités nécessaires à la construction d'économies plus fortes et plus durables. Permettez-moi donc, honorables gouverneurs, de partager nos propres expériences à l'ACBF. La Fondation a eu la possibilité de rebondir après les turbulences de la Covid-19. La stratégie que nous avons adoptée à ce moment a été de redresser fondamentalement l'institution en l'ancrant sur la résilience, les réformes internes et l'augmentation de l'efficacité. Cette stratégie comprenait l'optimisation de nos capacités de gestion des ressources humaines, ainsi que la transition vers des processus opérationnels plus automatisés et plus efficaces. En 2021, ainsi que l'a rappelé son Excellence le Président du Conseil des gouverneurs, en 2021, pour la première fois, la capacité de mobilisation de l'ACBF et des contributions des États membres a été la plus élevée, passant donc à un objectif de près de 80. C'est pour moi l'occasion donc de témoigner toute ma reconnaissance et mes remerciements au nom des membres du conseil d'administration et de la direction du secrétariat exécutif de la CBF, aux honorables gouverneurs et à tous les États membres pour leur soutien à la Fondation malgré les périodes difficiles que nous traversions en cette époque. Je suis également heureux d'annoncer que la CBF a de nouveau obtenu un audit positif en 2021. Il faut également rappeler à tous nos membres que la Fondation en 2021 a célébré son 30e anniversaire. Et parmi les réussites de la Fondation au fil de toutes ces années, il y a l'amélioration des capacités des principales institutions africaines nous nous sommes rapprochés de nouveaux partenaires et avons créé de nouveaux partenariats stratégiques visant à soutenir des programmes à travers l'Afrique. Honorable gouverneur, le continent actuellement se trouve sur la ligne de départ d'un voyage passionnant qui consiste à construire une zone commerciale la plus vaste et la plus diversifiée du monde, la zone de libre-échange continentale africaine. Et faire de la ZLECAf une réussite est l'une des priorités que la CBF s'est assignée. En 2021, la CBF a travaillé avec un partenaire clé qui est l'Afrexim Bank afin de concevoir un guide de politique pour aider les États membres à accélérer le développement du commerce. Nous sommes reconnaissants à l'Afrexim Bank d'avoir approuvé une subvention de 5 ans entre 2021 et 2025 pour le renforcement des capacités de financement du commerce et de la ZLECAf. Honorable gouverneur, la Fondation va maintenant rentrer dans une nouvelle phase. Et comme l'a indiqué précédemment l'honorable président du Conseil des gouverneurs, le mandat du professeur Emmanuel Nandosier est arrivé à son terme. J'en profite pour remercier le professeur Nandosier pour toute sa détermination à travailler à la tête de la Fondation, surtout pendant les périodes de turbulence que nous avons traversées. La Fondation accueille et récemment donc a accueilli l'arrivée du nouveau secrétaire exécutif, M. Mamadou Biteye. Il a été largement présenté. Et donc Mamadou, bienvenue encore une fois. Et la Fondation compte sur Mamadou pour entamer ce nouveau voyage qui va consister à l'écriture de la nouvelle stratégie de la Fondation pour les nouvelles années. M. Biteye, dans ce cadre, travaillera dans un processus consultatif pour élaborer cette nouvelle stratégie que nous allons pouvoir déployer dans les nouvelles années et qui, je n'en doute pas, va nous aider à développer une croissance inclusive et transformatrice de nos économies. Sur ce, je voudrais, avec votre permission, Monsieur le Président, souhaiter un bon conseil de gouverneurs à tous les membres ici représentés. Je vous remercie.
Thank you very much, Chair of the Acbf Executive Board at interim. At this point now, we would like to have the goodwill messages from our partners. We will start with a message from the African Development Bank.
Okay, Your Excellency, Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta, Chair of the Acbf Board of Governors, Honorable Governors of the Acbf, Mr. Mamadou Biteye, the new Executive Secretary of the Acbf, on behalf of the African Development Bank Group, I would like to extend the appreciation of the African Development Bank Group to the African Capacity Development Building Foundation for its transformative work in this critical area of building capacity for development on the continent. I'd like to commend Mr. Professor Emmanuel Nandosier, the outgone Executive Secretary of the Foundation, for his partnership with the African Development Bank Group and the work he's done to move this agenda forward. I'd also welcome Mr. Mamadou Biteye, the new Executive Secretary to the Foundation. Your Excellency, you have already laid out the triple challenges that Africa is facing, still struggling with COVID recovery. Then we have the geopolitical tensions, including the Russia-Ukraine war that is creating a lot of inflation, and the prices of food, the prices of fuel, and the prices of fertilizers and other commodities that we need for our daily living. We see, for me, these triple challenges and recurrent challenges underscores the need for Africa to build capacity to do development by itself in its own way, homegrown capacity on the continent. And this is why the African Development Bank Group remain very committed to building capacity and supporting African Capacity Building Foundation in its work, because capacity in all its forms remain a major constraint for development on the continent. The days when we would feel relaxed to rely on the global markets, global supply chains, global knowledge systems, and all the external inputs we used to get is fast going away, because we see that when these crises, that recurrent crises happen, we have to rely on ourselves to do our development our way. So we'd like to recommit our commitment, or reaffirm our commitment to continued work on capacity development on the continent. And this is why the African Development Bank Group has developed a capacity development strategy for the period 2021 to 2025 to shape the engagement of the African Development Bank Group in this sector. And I'm happy to say that ACBF was central in that development and is central as a core institution we are looking forward to in terms of implementing that strategy to leverage development and fast-track inclusive growth on the continent. Mr. Chair, I would like to thank you so much for your leadership, and finally, again, welcome my friend Mamadou Bite, and recommit that we will continue to work with you in this critical sector. Thank you.
Thank you very much, the African Development Bank, Professor Urama, for those very encouraging remarks. I would like now call upon the representative of the Afrexim Bank. Okay, can we have a representative of the African Union Commission? Can we have a representative of UNDP? They're joining us online. UNDP, you have the floor.
Yes, please. Thank you very much. My name is David Omozuafo, the Regional Governance and Rule of Law Advisor. Rose is on mission in Eswatini and having some high-level meetings in preparation for their national dialogue. So she's unable to join you and has requested that I stand in for her. That's okay for you. Thank you so much, Honorable Chair, for the meeting and your kind words. and congratulations for the recruitment of the new executive secretary.
Very much, UNDP, for those kind words. At this point, I would like to invite the representative of the World Bank, who is also joining online. The World Bank, please.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, World Bank, for those remarks. At this point, we now move into the statutory meeting of the Acbf Board of Governors, and I am handing over to the Chair of the Board of Governors, Honorable Ken Ofori.
With extreme selectivity to ensure that our focus is in areas where there was a dire need, given the limited resource envelope. Key achievements include, next slide please.
Statutory meeting of the Acbf Board of Governors, and I am handing over to the Chair of the Board of Governors, Honorable Ken Ofori.
With extreme selectivity to ensure that our focus is in areas where there was a dire need, given the limited resource envelope. Okay. Key achievements include, next slide please.
Statutory meeting of the Acbf Board of Governors.
Something, yeah, is big. Okay, it seems that we are back. So I would like to give you just very briefly a highlight, not all, but some of our achievements. One of them is the improved capacities of institutions in 24 member states to better contribute to policy implementation for the success of Agenda 2063. We also published 2 Africa capacity reports to support policy implementation in science, technology and innovation, as well as leadership, and organize 5 annual Africa think tank summits to contribute to knowledge sharing and partnership for policy design and implementation. We also supported 22 CSOs and 20 countries in evidence-based advocacy interventions. There are also some areas which remain partially completed due to the financing gap of the strategy. On the next slide. And these relate to conducing capacity needs assessment to support the design and implementation of national development plans, assisting the countries in their domestic resource mobilization efforts, and supporting strategies for financing of national development plans, and finally supporting skills development and capacity utilization and retention. Looking ahead, we will be building on some of the strengths of Acbf as an Africa based and grounded in African reality. 30 years of experience, strong partnerships in almost every country, and a rich database of renowned global experts and implementing partners. Focus on both human and institutional capacity as well as sustainability of results produced. A well-anchored institution in Africa's development architecture as a specialized agency of the African Union. A well-governed organization with world-class oversight and control mechanisms and world-class financial and fiduciary systems. Acbf is an innovation-driven organization that achieves results as evidenced by various independent evaluation of capacity-building development interventions. It is a well-structured organization with experienced staff, strengths and integrity of financial and fiduciary system, and its ability to deliver in all environments and under challenging, difficult circumstances. With that, our key priorities of the Secretariat in 22 remain enhancing our value to the continent through the strengthening of AU capacity to coordinate and measure the progress in Agenda 2063, support capacity in good leadership practices and governance principles in public financial management as key elements for development for results, and develop the new ACBF 2023-2027. That's from a programmatic perspective. But from an institutional perspective, we want to continue to increase country engagement, improve and sustain the ACBF new business model, enhance resource mobilization for sustainable financing of the foundation, and improve secretariat efficiency, investing in IT systems and business process re-engineering, strengthened management capacity, and cost control. For the new strategy, the foundation is cognizant of the many challenges that are facing the continent today. How to transform the youth bulge into an opportunity for the continent's growth, transformation, and prosperity. Access to energy for productive use to fuel the engine of our economic growth, which are the micro, small, and medium enterprises. Building the member states' resilience to external and internal shocks, particularly relevant today as we are still undergoing the consequences of the COVID-19 and also facing the global repercussions of the conflicts happening in Europe. Agricultural transformation agenda, also supporting, we also know that everything we produce in Africa, in agriculture, 30% of that production is lost due to inefficiencies. We can resolve that through capacity building. We also want to support effective devolution, building the capacities of decentralized governments to meet the needs of their citizenry, bringing services closer to the citizens. Also, in a context of a rapid digitization of the global economy, we believe that Africa will benefit from capacity building in digital to be able to seize the wave of this rapid digitization. And that will support also the capacities for the implementation of the EFCFTA, all of which will continue or will contribute to the Agenda 2063 goals attainment. And we will want to support also the African Union Commission capacities for Agenda 2063 implementation, coordination, monitoring, and measurement. Two more very important areas of attention are the enhancements of capacity for domestic and external resource mobilization, but also building contracts, negotiation capacities for member states. We would like this 5-year strategy priorities to be informed by continental, regional, national capacity development needs. ACBF will conduct an intensive collaboration, consultative process to ensure that member states' priorities and needs are reflected in the new ACBF strategy for the next 5 years. We seek to address the continental capacity challenges and ensure that we are delivering value to our members. Your input is therefore very critical. Member states' leadership in financing the strategy is key in unlocking financial resources from development partners. and the African countries should be at the forefront of supporting the Foundation as a demonstration of their confidence, of the confidence they have in homegrown and indigenously grounded institutions in Africa. A more comprehensive timeline on the development of the new strategy will be shared with all member states before the end of June 2022. With that, I would like to close with a few requests to this board. The evolution of our partners shared earlier show that the role of member states in driving the capacity development agenda on the continent through ACBF has become dire now more than ever. The sustainability of ACBF depends on the level of financial support by its shareholders, the level of capacity for ACBF put forward to development partners by member states, the extent to which member states leverage on their political clout and influence to get multilateral partners and bilateral partners to support capacity development in a more coordinated framework through ACBF. And I submit those requests to the Board of Governors. In conclusion, capacity development is the most critical factor for Africa's socio-economic transformation. We want ACBF to be your trusted partner, mandated to work with you in finding the innovative and sustainable solutions for your capacity development needs. And we need also to do that in the long term, because capacity development is not a destination. It is a journey, and this requires patient capital investment. This is to urge you as governors to continue your strong support to your own institution for the benefit of your countries and the continent. Thank you. Mr. Chair, I yield back.
Thank you, the Executive Secretary, for the State of the Foundation report. At this point, we will be hearing a report of the Resource Mobilization Committee of the ACBF Board of Governors.
Merci beaucoup, Madame la modératrice. Monsieur le Président du Conseil des gouverneurs, distingués membres du Conseil des gouverneurs, Monsieur le représentant du Président du Conseil d'administration, Monsieur le secrétaire exécutif, Mesdames et Messieurs les représentants des organisations internationales et des partenaires techniques et financiers,